So I started channeling about 3 years ago, and what led to me developing this opening was really many different practices, yoga, plant medicine, working with shaman in Guatemala, doing energy work like Reiki and energy work modalities that work with the angels all played their role, as well as chanting and Kundalini yoga. I was doing many different practices, kind of moving from place to place, and I had my own understanding of magic and connecting with these other realms. And I kind of set out a ceremony just really making my intention, may my gifts in whatever way they want to open for the benefit of all open now. And I started hearing this voice in my head that would speak to me when I was doing energy work, and it was the voice of angels. The angels told me to go into a mirror and start to speak the message that I was receiving out loud, and I felt the energetics of the channeling state for the first time in that moment, and it was a moment for me to be like, okay, wow, what is this all about? I didn't necessarily believe it right away. I channeled for groups, and they had kind of an experience of attunement with the energy that led them to be very grateful and very open, and I was still doubting it a bit. It took me maybe a year to have more trust in what I was actually doing, and as that trust developed, the Pleiadians presented themselves as the main group that I would be working with for this time, though I have channeled other groups and entities. So you don't necessarily have to believe that all of this that you'll be hearing is true. What is important is that you tune into the vibration and allow yourself to be in kind of a more imaginative place with it. Our imagination is the portal through which we enter into any of these journeying states, into channeling states, and through which we can receive a lot of information. While they'll be speaking, there's also a transmission of energy that will take place. One way the channel Bashar talks about the channeling, and in this case Bashar is a singular entity on a ship that is channeled by a man named Enka, and Bashar says that in his ship he tunes his frequency to a certain vibration, and when Daryl goes into channeling, his frequency raises to that same vibration. At that kind of level of resonance, the energy can move through. So all of these stars out there are vibrating continuously. They're sending us energy. And when we put our focus on a star, on a plant, on the sun or the moon, there's a transference of energy that takes place. You know when somebody's looking at you, you feel that energy. And they're starting to be able to measure that. And it's just through this sustained focus that the energy begins to move through. And you may feel different vibrations in your body. You may start to enter a dreamlike state, or maybe not. I don't really know. It's always a different experience for everyone, so I'm curious to what you may experience afterwards. This will be a focused channeling session around plants and plant consciousness, and Morgan will lead most of it, and there will be some time and space for your questions, as well as a channeling session tomorrow that will be around the beginning of the market. That's more free-form and open for you to ask any personal questions that you may have. And as well, I'm always offering these sessions online and in person wherever I may go. So I can share you resources where there are many YouTube channels and opportunities then for you to connect with me and do a personal channeling session if this resonates. Okay. So, again, as this is something that happens through vibration, I like to start the channeling sessions with a little bit of a meditation to get all of us kind of in the same frequency together. And after we finish today, there will be a sound healing session to kind of integrate some of these energies that come through. Bring your awareness to the heart center, taking deep breaths in and out through your nose, feeling your spine straight or relaxed against the ground. So take a minute to focus on the heart, come into alignment with our own higher self, here in the center of our being. Allow this to be the place where you receive the messages, where you receive transmissions on other levels, and through which you come to know the other as one with you. Dropping down from the heart vertebrae by vertebrae to find your base, to find your foundation. Feel yourself on the ground, feeling your sit bones and legs fresh against the earth. And from your body, from your legs, from the base of your spine, see roots grow down through your feet and start to weave through the web of the earth. See these roots growing from your body start to mix with the roots of the trees and other plants, the crystal mycelium grids across the planet, connecting you with the greater consciousness of the earth, and send the roots deeper through the mineral kingdom and the crystal kingdom. Allow the roots to go deep through water, through magma and lava, down to a molten core of the earth. Quicker now, all the way down to the hot, dense, iron solid core of the earth. Feel the pure potential of the earth's power. Tune your vibration with the vibration of the earth. It's the frequency from the earth's heart. Comes into your body. See it move up rapidly through those roots. Notice how the earth's center appears, how the earth's heart beats. Take all of that light up through your roots and slowly up through every vertebrae of your spine, through your neck to the top of your head, where a column of light opens at the top of your head that bridges your whole body from the center of the earth to the center of the universe. From the crown of your head, see streams of light that move through this column of energy and go out in many directions through the universe. See a silver stream of energy that moves from your crown chakra up and into the moon. Taking a moment to breathe in the silver light of the moon, accessing the feminine frequency. Take a moment to breathe in gold light, connecting your crown chakra and your whole body to the sun. So you take in that solar golden light, bridge it to your body, connect with the collective consciousness of this whole solar system. See these streams of light then go out beyond, and move in a grid-like pattern that spirals through the galaxy, connecting many stars of your origin. Perhaps you connect with Arcturus, Sirius, Alcyon and the Pleiades. Picturing these many stars in spirals of light that move beyond all the way to the center of the galaxy. The supermassive black hole around which everything spins and rotates. Use your imagination to pierce that black hole, going all the way to its center to a point of singularity. And seeing the brilliant light there. Energy that moves through all universes, all galaxies, into our galaxy. Imagine it streaming like a waterfall down into your body, taking it from your crown, through your body, to the very bottom of your root, allowing your awareness to rest back into your heart center, where the stream of light from the earth and from the heavens meet, bringing you to know that this universe is a hologram, and here in the center, you can perceive all of it. So I'll begin the channeling session now, and I'll see you guys in a little while. Do enjoy. Hello, hello. We are here and we are very pleased to interact with you in this way. How are you doing this evening of your time?
Good.
Very, very good. It is our great pleasure to be with you. We first of all thank you for allowing this interaction to occur in this way, for every time you open the bridge between our respective realities, there is a tremendous transference of light and energy that allows both of us to expand together in our own evolution and connection to Source. And for this, our gratitude is deep and immense. We learn very much from you, and we hope that you may learn quite a lot from us. Now, you are in times of great, tremendous change in your world, and at this time, astrologically, of the eclipse that just occurred in your world, there are reintegrations of what you know to be your truth, or your path, that are occurring for each and every one of you. So allow this time to be one where you think very deeply, where you feel into the parts of yourself that are craving more of you. For your passion is the greatest principle of expansion. The universe itself exists because an unmanifest consciousness sparked a desire to experience itself in multitudes, and you are that multitude. You are that creative consciousness in form. And we are that creative consciousness in a different sort of form. And together we are all returning to that pure potential state through the experience of growth and expression through many, many different sorts of incarnations. This is a dance of darkness and light that you play out in your world. You learn through polarities and through seeming opposites that become a unified whole. And this has been going on for many thousands and thousands of your years. Though this is a time of tremendous change. This is a time when your consciousness is returning to an elevated state of what you may call ascension. Now, ascension does not mean you are going somewhere else beyond your world. You are staying here in your bodies, we can assure you this, though the rules of manifestation, the rules of consciousness, and the limits of what you are capable of are all changing vastly. And it is a time to be very excited. And it is a time to know that you alone create your experience. You must not allow the definitions of realities that are not your own, that are manufactured and sold and advertised and so on and so forth, to be what you believe and what you even fear in the back deep part of your subconscious. You must clear out all of those ideas, for in the times to come, your ideas will prove themselves to be true. And we are going beyond ideas to real lived experiences, beyond beliefs, into a direct experience of yourself as source. And this is an experience that is very exciting, for you discover that every thought creates. And in order to refine what you think, you must refine how you feel. In order to refine how you feel, you must really come to understand what is it that you really, really want. And we understand that we are here tonight to discuss the idea of plants as allies, or as teachers, or as consciousness. And in this way, you will learn a great deal, for they are your friends, and we hope that you have a very good time with them. For we enjoy to play with you when you engage with them quite deeply. At this time, you may begin with your questions, and we will answer to the very best of our own ability.
Thank you. When we talked previous, you stressed how important it is to engage with plants as lovers.
Yes.
Could you expand on that more? Especially how it engages the heart center.
Yes. Very good place to start and begin. For love is the fabric of reality. You may come to understand that this entire universe is built on the principle of unconditional love. Source, this unmanifest creative consciousness, desired to create, to experience itself in multitudes once again. And love is the gift that you are given in coming into this reality. On higher levels of reality, all is experienced as a simultaneous expression of many different versions and many different forms merging in a way that is, well, quite hard to explain because there is no time in that sense. And love, light, condenses itself into what you experience as time. Now, you can only go beyond time-space when you access what you call love. When you allow yourself to do what you love, you naturally gravitate towards this higher dimensional orientation. And so the principle that we give to all of you is similar to what many of our colleagues, you could say, tell you, to follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability, with no insistence on a particular outcome, and you will be manifesting your desires and your life path with absolute certainty in every moment through a synchronous display of many perfect manifestations. Now, when you do what you love the very most, you will attract more like vibrations. And the plants that you engage in, when you honor them, when you respect them, when you probe into what is their experience, can show you much more about their lives. For they are living and they are alive. They have behind their physical bodies, very energetic spirits that are not bound by the time that their bodies are bound by. And that means that you can access them even without touching them. Simply on other levels of reality, whenever you think of these plants, their spirit forms are engaging with you. Now, these plants themselves have vast consciousnesses that stretch beyond your world. Most of what you consider medicine plants have origins on other planets, and as bridges between worlds, they are great assistants in allowing yourself to access life on other planets. When you use a plant with a vibration of fear, you perpetuate that vibration in your body. When you look upon the plant with great love and enthusiasm and with the intention to spread that vibration in your life and experience, that energy ripples and multiplies.
So planet Earth, how much are the genetics brought here from other planets? Or how much are native to here? And how does that compare with other planets?
Here upon your planet, your human race has evolved from what you now consider Sasquatch. This was the main primate on your planet at the time of the involvement of the first extraterrestrial group to come here, known as the Anunnaki. These creator gods, as they proposed themselves to be to the first humans, structured genetically the first people to walk the planet in the same way that you are here. They created you as friendly servants for the purpose of mining gold from your planet. The gold was used to stabilize their atmosphere in a time of annual disturbance due to the orbit of their planet through a rather unseemly part of the galaxy that caused great destabilization. Gold was the only way they could do so. Now, they eventually left your world, and this is a very long story we'll not get into. Over the continuing evolution of humans, about 12 other extraterrestrial races involved themselves in your growth. Some for the purposes of service to you and to the greater good, and some for their own self-serving agendas. These different groups implanted certain thought form programs and karmic links that allow souls to move back and forth, reincarnationally speaking, between many different worlds and realities. And your Earth is a melting pot in that sense, that many different groups of extraterrestrial life congregate here. Some other planets are not quite the same, though there are many other sorts of melting pots out there.
Would you say that this planet is more emotionally rich than most? And do plants have an emotional life?
Your planet is one that is wavering between two different trajectories. And now, you are part of a collective soul of your planet, you must understand. And this collective soul on the planet, as you stand on it today, has chosen to orient itself towards love and service to others. Now, there are other timelines of your planet where humans have oriented, and the Earth has oriented towards service to self. And this sort of trajectory allows humans to cut themselves off from the greater galaxy and from each other. This was part of the growth of your world into certain technological thought patterns, certain proclivities towards mental and intellectual growth, as opposed to equal value philosophies that allow for unification to occur. There are many planets out there where the species orient themselves towards serving themselves at the expense of others. And in order to orient one's consciousness in that way, one must shut down certain emotional drives to only know a deep state of fear. So, in that sense, you are more advanced than many of those. Some you call reptilian or draconian groups, though there are much more emotionally rich places in the world as well. In the world at large, when we say it this way, we mean the galaxy. There are many groups that have gone even further beyond what you experience in your world, and we are one of them that come here now to help you ascend into that higher vibrational octave. Now, the other part of what you have asked us, yes, plants do have very rich emotional lives, and as multidimensional entities, they are very vastly tuned in to all sorts of elemental realms that are places where mythic beings do exist. And your plants bridge your human realm to these mythical eternal realms and can be doorways through which you access these realms. Plants do respond to the emotional frequencies of humans. And so, when you, in self-serving ways, pollute your planet, the plants respond, and that energy bleeds over both into elemental realms and mythic realms, as well as onto other planets. And so the plants do not enjoy this very much, yet they, for the most part, understand with compassion.
So, what is the difference between the spirit of a molecule and the spirit of a plant? Because oftentimes plants that have a certain effect, they can be reduced to an extracted molecule which has a similar effect. Could you say something about using the whole plant as opposed to using an essential or active molecule of that?
The molecule itself still contains the consciousness of the plant from which it is derived. And so when you are engaging in the use of such molecules, you still have that consciousness of the plant. However, in some instances, when you extract the molecule, you lose some of the other attributes of the plant that contribute to the effect that it has.
What about plants that are GMO plants that are constructed or developed that way?
Because they are constructed with thought forms based in service to oneself, in fear and secrecy, they develop mutated forms. And these mutated forms are not conducive to life. They limit and they constrain. And so when you consume such genetically modified foods, your molecules start to match these lower vibrations.
So I'm wondering how much we, in our physical form, our plants, and energetic form, our plants and our deep design, and how much may that be activated? Is there a plant within us? Or a plant nature within us?
The plants that you have eaten through your evolution exist within your genetic structure. Understand that everything is vibration. And so one way to look at a plant spirit is a specific vibration. The visions and the colors and so on and so forth that you experience when you connect with the plant spirit are your translation of that vibration. Now, when you continuously attune yourself to a specific vibration over time, it affects the structure of your body. And all of the plants that have contributed to your growth up until this point still exist alive within you. And there are cords of connection that link you to this plant world. Is there a plant inside of you? In this way, you could say yes. Now, do your souls reincarnate with plant souls? Not necessarily, no. You, as humans, can have deep soul level connections with the mythic realms to which the plants bridge you. And you may have a specific type of being that is vibrationally akin to you, though it is not necessarily very common that humans and plants share souls.
Could you say something about the esoteric nature of flowers?
Of what?
Flowers.
Yes.
The flowering plants, as they evolved on this planet. There's an understanding in anthroposophy that a flower is a recreation of the plant in higher vibrational form.
Yes.
Could you say something about how flowers can therapeutically work with us, and what's the esoteric understanding or underpinning of that?
The flowers activate your natural sense of beauty. And so, again, we come back to this idea of excitement or passion. When you do what brings you passion and joy, you bring yourself into a state of greater connection, of greater receptivity to higher dimensional energies. So, to practice observing the things that you can appreciate about your life, you naturally come to a state of non-resistance, where your vibration ascends into these higher octaves of perception. Now, flowers are the greatest gifts for that reason. When you practice observing the natural world, it is like a meditation that can help you to entrain into these higher states. By using your imagination when you observe the natural world, you can begin to peer into the mythic worlds that the plants connect you to. Flowers themselves have specific vibrations, like all plants do, and these vibrations are attuned to help you find certain emotional qualities that will liberate you from what challenges you. You may notice that the right plant is always there at the right time. When you are taking a walk, there are always synchronous moments that help you to see which plants are calling to you. When you ingest what you may call flower essence, the vibration of that flower sinks into your energetic field. And through repetition of using such a permission slip, you take in that vibration into your life, and you can hold it and use it as a tool and gift.
Could you say something about the imagination?
Yes.
Because in English we have it's only your imagination as a fantasy, but there's
Yes.
also use your imagination as like a creative matrix. It's kind of confusing in our language. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yes. Imagination both creates and perceives. And we wish that you would come to understand that what you call perception and creation are one and the same faculty. When you focus at an object in the distance, it appears differently whether you are standing to the left of it or to the right of it. It appears different if you are standing above it or below it. And so when you look at something that you would describe as my life, something you would describe as my planet, something you would describe as my partner, how you perceive depends on how you look at it. And in the same way, when you enter into what we may call a multidimensional state of consciousness, the attitude you have towards what you see determines how you integrate it. Now, there are, of course, certain obstructions that filter information when you enter into multidimensional states of consciousness. However, you are always getting exactly something that is akin to what you are developing within yourself when you access these dreams or visions. Your imagination is a tool through which you perceive other levels of reality. And the attitude you bring determines the results that come through. If you see imagination as something that is not real or it makes things up, you will not get the deep meaning that can be obtained through vision work, for example. Understand that imagination is the way that you begin to access our world and any other realm of this nature. It is in this way that your consciousness begins to attune to a frequency that then changes your perspective.
Could you say something about the more psychoactive plants? Many contain neurotransmitters, which we also have. And could it be said that there is, say, a nature channel that these plants can allow us to move on to? And is this populated also with extraterrestrials and the galactic family? And is that considered a teaching mode? Because many of us are drawn to events like this through our use of these plants and the information coming through. So could you say something about their role and how they work and the involvement of those molecules?
Yes. These plants are of the master class. And they are linked to plants of a similar nature that do exist upon other planets. Now, their particular mission is to now help your planet in awakening to these higher dimensional perspectives. When you ingest a certain plant with these compounds, it allows your brain to be more highly receptive to multidimensional energies. And when you create a space through which you can journey deep, the visions that come will allow you to perceive other levels of reality. They must be used with very precise intentions in order to have very direct effects. And each plant has a particular mission or frequency.
Are there beings who specialize in architecting trips or visions?
There are assistants that come in when you have that vision, though it is orchestrated by your own higher self.
Higher self.
Yes.
Could you say something about your perspective on the doctrine of signatures? It's a very perennial herbalist understanding of how plants affect us and how we can match situations with our own body-mind with the plant world.
Can you share more about this idea?
Doctrine of signatures works with affinities. It's almost like an associative way. Like, for example, a plant that is constricting may help us with some parts of ourself that is also
Yes.
constrictive, because maybe at a deeper level of the imagination they come from the same place
Yes.
and can remind and help each other.
Yes. And this is a great example of the metaphorical ways through which the universe speaks to you. That oftentimes the first association you make is one that is accurate. Everything is trying to teach you the exact, precise meaning of an event. And so when something appears constricting outside and you take it to let go of your inner restrictions, it has a result. When something appears soft and fuzzy and you use that to be softer upon yourself, it has that result. And you can use this not only with plants, but with everything that appears outside of you. You may come to perceive that everything is a symbol in your world, whether it's a toaster or whether it is a daffodil. What does that mean to you is another level of this. There is both a collective association that your whole consciousness as humanity will perceive when engaging with a particular plant, and there is a personal association. Perhaps the daffodil reminds you of when you were 3 and your grandmother took you to the flower garden and you picked the daffodils together. This particular plant in that case will then help you to access those memories and the nurturing quality of your grandmother. It can connect you in that way to Grandmother Gaia. Yet, this is just the level of human association, but it is very powerful. And we call this again what you may know as permission slips. That the tools and the allies that you engage with help you to give yourself permission to access a frequency. With your imagination, that frequency is already accessible just by thinking about it. Certain qualities from memories or from activities that you enjoy begin to integrate within your consciousness. And by engaging with the symbol outside of you, it is easy to access the frequency that is already a part of your consciousness.
There's a Vedic understanding that if you could truly read nature, all the scriptures are there.
Yes.
Could you say something about that?
Yes. And this brings us again back to vibration. The sound Aum. The vibration of the universe. From that Vedic understanding. Everything is vibration, and your consciousness attunes to certain vibrations. The natural world around you is vibrating, whether you hear it or not. The plants are sending certain vibrations to you. The plants and animals are an orchestra that is designed to tune your chakra system into a universal frequency. And so when you truly and deeply enter a state of deep connection, those vibrations emitted from the natural world then connect you to a more universal current of vibrational energy. And this is the current of energy through which we communicate with you as well.
I'd like to open the circle up to other people's questions.
I have a question.
Yes?
I've been connecting with solar beings.
Alright.
And I want, can you speak up? Yeah. I would like to hear what you have to say about the sun and how it connects to the sun that we see here every day. I would love to know more about solar beings. That's my question.
Alright, thank you. The sun is a store of great energy. The sun is the place where all souls that have been a part of evolution in this solar system converge as one. And so when you access the solar frequency, you are tuning yourself to the collective consciousness of your planet, all that have come here and all that will come here, and all that have entered this solar system and incarnated upon the other planets. This collective then links into the collective consciousness of many stars beyond. Every star has a consciousness, and when you link with the sun, many different aspects of your soul that have been a part of the evolution of this planet also come alive. Something more you would like to add about this?
I think that's it for now. Thank you.
All right, we do thank you.
You mentioned our planet's teetering between two timelines, one vibrating in love and one in self-service. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, there are two different camps upon your planet, you could say. And now you are one engaged with love, evolution, service to others. There are many others upon your planet that are engaged in a fear-based view of life that separates and divides. And this is what you may call a third density perspective. Now your planet has agreed collectively to move to the fourth density and then through the higher densities. And the first step is learning how to serve others and to be acting in accordance with the good rather than your personal good first. Now, your planet has been teetering, and this is the time upon which the timeline has solidified, you could say, to orient you towards the evolution of humanity in alignment with many extraterrestrial races who will be arriving here. You are evolving very rapidly, and you may not see it because these are the times of purgation, where those older, denser, fear-based energies are coming to a point of catalytic eruption, and they are being pushed to experience the fear that they are holding in manifest, tangible ways. You, on the other hand, are being asked to remain calm and centered, to, while witnessing disruption around you, find what brings you harmony and joy and your community harmony and joy. Find what brings your planet to spread that joy and harmony, and you will do all right. Your planet will no longer host service to self activities in a period of time that we cannot give you at this time.
I have a question.
Yes?
I'm curious if there are particular plant teachers to help connect more deeply with Pleiadian consciousness.
We would first suggest the psilocybin mushrooms. Now as well, one moment. White angelica, rose, chrysanthemum, and violets. These represent to you certain qualities that embody a frequency of unconditional love and clear communication, celestial communication. We are great speakers. We have a lot to say, and we come through many channels for this purpose. There are other extraterrestrial groups that communicate in other ways. Though we are bringers of great love, and we are teachers of how to share and connect. Many other extraterrestrial races have different purposes at this time. Yes.
Would you speak a bit about the origin of the third density self-serving consciousness on this planet?
Genetically, it is linked into what you know to be draconian or reptilian species who have involved themselves in your development, as well as the initial Anunnaki influence that was one of service to themselves. Though they were not entirely oriented towards the service to self to the point that they harmed you. They were rather innocuous. They simply used you. Now, service to self in this universe as a whole is one point of polarity, the other being service to others and service to collective. It is through the dance between seeming opposites that you learn through diversity. If there was only light without darkness, you could not know the light because you would not have any contrast. And souls engage in the process of densification through great suffering, because through that great suffering, the appreciation of a state of unity and freedom can be appreciated with more understanding. It may seem silly from your perspective within the suffering, though you can tap into a part of yourself that knows and understands in a deep way this balance when you come into what you call surrender. Surrender does not mean that you give up. It means that you allow yourself the depth of your human pain while choosing to trust in a greater meaning for your life, choosing to trust in a greater eternity of yourself beyond form. And when you can taste that energy, you can bring a non-dual, unified field of energy that ends the suffering in your world. And it is simply through entraining in that vibration itself that you emit a frequency that entrains others who may still be playing out service to self patterns into a frequency that is service to others oriented.
I have a question.
Yes?
In this gathering, we've had different varieties of rarefied and dense types of herbal medicine, from thinking about the plant and meditating on that, just touching the plant, dermal connection to very strong ingestion. It's a whole different array how people are taking in their herbal medicine. So in terms of rarefication in your world and how it's used in ours, in rarefied or dense kinds of things.
And what was the question?
How it could be best utilized for the people here, because some people sense that perhaps using a homeopathic or meditating on it, or some people taking the whole plant or very fine amounts, and how that would be the evolution of medicine as to maybe just the vibration of it or denseness in our world.
You must first believe, and then you experience. Once you have an experience, then you come to know. And once you know, you come to embody fully that knowledge. And so, you must play with your belief systems around certain subjects, around food, for example, around plants. If you really believe that a homeopathic has an effect, it will have that effect. If you are totally focused on your world as a mechanical, logical sort of apparatus that functions only through molecules, you will not really get very far. So the best way is to identify, what do I believe in this very moment about the plant, about the vibrational remedy, about so on and so forth. If you can, for a moment, suspend disbelief about something, you can have the experience of, what if that may be true? And that experience will then show you that how you approach any given permission slip. And plants, again, are permission slips. They give you permission to access a vibrational field and an energetic state that you innately as a human have access to. It is a very good permission slip nonetheless, though it is a permission slip. Does that make sense to you? And so, play with your belief systems. Allow yourself to move beyond belief so that you can know in a real way what a vibration brings to you. Simply by focusing on a plant, you can receive all of its energy by looking at it, if you really believed that that was enough. To take it even further, you could receive all of the energy from a plant just by thinking about it, if you really believed that was enough.
Along those lines, is there a practical language to talk to plants in?
Your own preferred language. There is not a language in the plant realm. There is just vibration. And these vibrational currents, in a non-physical way, bridge many worlds between many plant kingdoms. Now, in your physical world, there are electric currents, and there are minerals, and there are microorganisms, and so on and so forth. Though, when you are connecting with any non-humanoid group of this nature, your own consciousness receives vibration, and there is this aspect of you call the higher mind, that then translates vibration into something that your lower human mind can receive. If you are very wordy, you will receive it with words. If that is not your style, you could say, you may receive it in images, in feelings. And for most of you, you will get many of these different senses and receptors activated at once. So, allow yourself to trust that your own language is quite enough for you to grasp communication in these other ways, though it is limited. Now, in our world, we do not speak to each other in the same way. We are highly telepathic, and every thought form, every feeling, every imagination that we have is communicated to the other instantly. And so we are living in a state of total synchronous flow, as everyone knows exactly what everyone else is thinking and feeling within a group. And we can even move through time and space with our focus. Many worlds work in this way, and the words that come through the channel's mouth are his translation of a vibration that we transmit to each and every one of you through this communication. You may feel this vibration in your body if you focus upon it, or you may hear it as a sound. You may receive information from us that we send to you telepathically through this field of attunement that you have together created by coming together to focus upon messages from Pleiades. And in this way, there is a transference of energy taking place. Most of you don't experience it in a verbal way in your own inner world. And that is something that you come to trust with experience. Most of what you know about reality cannot be put into the words that you have used to formulate your lives. you are moving beyond words, and this is why using sound and what you term speaking in tongues or speaking in light